This is what it is, okay? I said empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Welcome, Doomslayers. I'm Sidewinder. Doom Eternal is on the horizon, and I'm here to help you prepare your demon-slaying skills for Hell's invasion of Earth. And today, we're talking about guns. As the Doomslayer, we communicate with the world around us nearly exclusively through our weapons. As such, it is of fundamental importance to a Doomslayer to have a clear understanding of how to use their arsenal to maximize its deleterious effects on the hordes of Hell. The Doomslayer's weapons are useful and powerful tools of horde control. To an ambitious Slayer, it is of utmost importance to gain an understanding of when it is most appropriate to employ which weapon. This appropriate weapon choice is a question which often has a range of answers which can change swiftly and dramatically as a Slayer engages the demonic host. First, we will discuss the most basic attack available to a Slayer, the melee attack. The basic function of the melee attack should be familiar to many, a physical strike of the fist or gun. This attack is short-ranged and quaint in comparison to several other destructive options available to a Slayer, but it is also very quick and always immediately available. The uninitiated may want to avoid the melee in nearly all scenarios other than Glory Kill or Berserk, and they'd often be right to do so. However, for the skilled Slayer, the melee attack is potent against lightweight demons, as it often interrupts them and causes them to flinch, stun, or stagger. It can even be used in combination attacks cause larger demons to flinch, stun, or stagger. But that requires masterful knowledge of the demon's flinch thresholds. When used with nuance, this attack can heavily influence a fight and may save time or a Slayer's life with its quickness. It is also worth mentioning that the melee attack can be exploited to cancel its finishing animation instantly by firing a rapid-fire weapon. This allows for extremely rapid melee attacks combined with burst fire from the plasma rifle or heavy assault rifle. While this technique is generally impractical, a Slayer who is starved for ammo and weapons may find it useful. Finally, the secondary function of the melee attack is to perform hand-to-hand executions of demons who have taken enough damage to become staggered. In this vulnerable state, a Slayer can melee the demon to finish them and increase health and ammo drop rates. This attack is known as the Glory Kill, and we will discuss its finer points in a future episode. The Slayer's next most basic weapon is the UAC EMG sidearm, commonly referred to as the pistol. The pistol is a simple direct damage weapon. Its primary fire shoots a small bullet, which does meager damage. In addition, though, the pistol can be charged for a more powerful shot, which is useful when a Slayer's kit is limited. The charge shot performs best in mid-range engagements against minor threats like imps and possessed soldiers, especially if a Slayer can reliably perform headshots with it. However, after acquiring weapons like the plasma rifle or assault rifle, the pistol becomes a liability in comparison. The pistol has 4 upgrade tiers, which decrease the time it takes to power up a charged energy shot, decrease the recovery time for the pistol after using a charged energy shot, allows you to move at full speed when using the charged energy shot, and increases the maximum power of the charged energy shot. The next weapon, and the first of our primary weapons, is the combat shotgun. The combat shotgun's primary fire is a basic shotgun blast, which is strong enough to shred imps or stagger possessed soldiers point blank. This weapon's alternate firing modes are a 3-round burst or a grenade launcher known respectively as charged burst and explosive shot. The primary fire of the combat shotgun is modest in comparison to much of the Slayer's arsenal. However, this attack is still extensively useful against minor threats. When used at immediate distance, the combat shotgun primary fire can slay imps or stagger possessed soldiers with a single shot. With elusive movement and precision headshots, the combat shotgun can even slay a Hell Knight in the time it takes to empty 5 rounds. A Masterful Slayer will slip primary fires from this weapon into their combination attacks, but sparingly. While it has its uses, the combat shotgun primary fire also has its limits. In heavy engagements, overusing the primary fire of the combat shotgun can get a Slayer overwhelmed quickly. In these situations, this attack is simply outshined by the Super Shotgun or Gauss Cannon. The triple firing Charged Burst is a stiff hit which may give pause to enemies as durable as Hell Knights. This attack can be combined with primary fire before and after to unload 5 rounds in very rapid succession. When used properly, the Charged Burst is a moderately useful tool against any foe. Improvements to this modification include a quicker recovery from firing, higher rate of burst fire, reduced loading time, and 15% increased damage on a subsequent burst following a true shot of all 3 rounds. However, the Charged Burst modification for the shotgun is clearly inferior to the grenade launcher or explosive shot. The combat shotgun's explosive shot is the star of the combat shotgun show. This attack delivers a potent explosive in a projectile arc. The basic version of the explosive shot can instantly slay an imp or cause possessed soldiers to stagger. After firing, the explosive shot goes on cooldown for a short time, making the cluster bomb a prime candidate for beginning a combination attack. This modification's upgrades make the explosive shot chamber more quickly, cool down more quickly, area of effect larger, and eventually even adds a cluster bomb effect on direct hits. The cluster strike will immediately devastate a gaggle of imps or kill enemies as durable as Hellraisers. A direct hit from the cluster strike will guarantee a stun to all but our largest foes. As well, it will give a swift Doomslayer opportunity to swap weapons to an appropriate tool of destruction for finishing the demon off. The most appropriate firing scenario for the explosive shot is against targets which can be hit directly, or the grenade will impact nearby against a wall or the ground. As such, it is sometimes a mistake to fire the explosive shot against a flying demon or one on a pedestal above the Slayer. However, a highly skilled Doomslayer will be able to complete these shots as well. Another of the Slayer's weapons is the Super Shotgun. This is the Slayer's general purpose demon slaying tool. This weapon delivers a stunning shotgun blast, but requires a quick reload after every shot. As the Slayer improves the Super Shotgun, it gains penetrating shots, a faster reload, and eventually becomes capable of firing twice before a reload. The powerful burst damage makes this weapon very effective by itself or in combination with other destructive implements. An aggressive Doomslayer can use the Super Shotgun alone to dispatch even the most fearsome of Hell's minions. The Super Shotgun, when fired cyclically at close range, is an enormous amount of DPS against the largest targets and shreds to pieces the smaller ones. Concentrated fire from this weapon can make a Hell Knight staggered in 2 trigger pulls, and slay a Mancubus in the short time required to empty 4 rounds. Even so, the Super Shotgun shines brightest when combined as a follow-up to a Cluster Strike or Gauss Cannon Blast. The most appropriate firing scenario for this weapon is against demons who are very close and have no cover or reduced hitbox size from your perspective, such as imps clinging to walls. This weapon is notably effective for reflexively defending against a lost soul attack, or quickly buying a Doomslayer time by delivering nearly instant close-range stuns to our most formidable enemies. At the 3 o'clock position on our weapon wheel is our next slaying tool, the Heavy Assault Rifle. This weapon's primary firing mode is a simple fully automatic rifle. Alternatively, the Heavy Assault Rifle can be outfitted with a scope or a rack of demon-seeking mini-missiles. This weapon is a very reliable tool which fills important gaps in a Slayer's kit. The primary fire of the Heavy Assault Rifle is very useful in the earlier portions of campaign mode, but quickly becomes outclassed by other modes of offense. This firing mode is probably one of the easier ways to set up a glory kill on just about any target. A precise Slayer will also find this firing mode to be one of the best solutions for destroying lost souls. The scope modification for the Heavy Assault Rifle slows down the fire rate, but jacks up the damage and DPS. This firing mode is an appreciable improvement over the primary firing mode. However, it is overshadowed by the mini-missile option. When fully upgraded, the heavy assault rifle's micro-missiles are perhaps the highest single-weapon DPS available to the Slayer. Concentrated fire from the micro-missiles is guaranteed to eliminate any opposition. These missiles are nimble and effective for engaging hard-to-hit flying targets or swift targets on elevated platforms. However, all of this glory is contingent upon upgrading the missiles to mastery. As without it, the short burst of missiles available can be slow to use and inferior damage to other options like the super shotgun or rocket launcher. Without mastery, the micro-missiles are much less impressive. However, this attack can still occasionally fill offensive gaps in the Slayer's kit, such as when dealing with shield zombies or as a second choice when the rocket launcher is empty and the explosive shot is on cooldown. The upgrades for the tactical scope include bullets fired while zoomed will penetrate through targets, bullets fired while zoomed will deal additional headshot damage, move faster when zoomed in with the tactical scope, and ammunition fired while zoomed uses experimental heavy damage rounds. While the micro-missile upgrades reduce the ammo costs of micro-missiles, greatly improve reload time for micro-missiles, instantly activate the micro-missile rack when it is ready to fire, and micro-missiles can be fired indefinitely without requiring a reload. The heavy assault rifle shares ammo with the Chaingun, which can complicate when either weapon is useful. The heavy assault rifle primary fire is quicker and more accurate than the Chaingun's, making it more desirable against minor demons. Alternatively, the Chaingun winds up slowly, but its bullets do more damage and its peak DPS exceeds the heavy assault rifle. This means the Chaingun primary fire is more effective against durable demons than the heavy assault rifle primary fire. Another step around the weapon wheel brings us to the Chaingun. In any of its modes, the Chaingun is a wind-up bullet hose of variable damage and mobility. One of the alternate fire modes offers pre-rotating barrels and bullets which do extra damage and potentially penetrate to multiple targets. The other reduces the Slayer's mobility to a crawl, but transforms the Chaingun into a triple-barreled high-speed ammo distributor. The Gatling Rotator's upgrades include significantly increased spin-up speed of the Gatling Rotator, penetrating rounds, and increased damage when the Chaingun achieves maximum rate of fire. The triple-barreled mobile turret option is a fearsome weapon capable of covering entire fields of fire with a constant stream of damage, slaughtering the weak and quickly eroding the strong. When backed into a corner, the mobile turret can allow a Doomslayer to deliver a volley of damage that will literally push back the hordes of hell. The mobile turret's most appropriate firing scenario is against closely aligned enemies in narrow fields of fire, or sometimes as an effective panic button if a Doomslayer finds themselves choking on the pressure of the demon assault. The downside to this firing mode is that the Slayer may overheat the weapon, halting its fire and forcing the Slayer into a fumble recovery. Upgrades to this weapon mod include a faster deployment of the turret mode, penetrating rounds, and never overheating. The lag time between brandishing the Chaingun and delivery of its payload make the Chaingun undesirable in weapon combinations. Also, competition for ammo with the heavy assault rifle can further complicate when this weapon is useful. These weaknesses mean most skilled Slayers will resort to this weapon sparingly. Continuing our tour around the weapon wheel brings us to the plasma rifle. This weapon fires a perfectly accurate and precise stream of energy projectiles which deal moderate damage and have a very tiny area of effect. Alternate firing modes include a stunning energy bomb or a high damage cone-shaped wave. The former costs ammo and has a timed cooldown, while the latter costs no ammo and requires a warm-up by firing the plasma rifle. The primary fire of the plasma rifle is generally underwhelming once a Slayer has acquired superior weapons. However, when combined with stun bombs or heat waves, the weapon becomes significantly more useful. It is also worth noting that the tiny area of effect of the plasma rifle is enough to do reduced damage to shield zombies when firing directly on their shield from the front. This makes the plasma rifle very useful early in the game against those formidable foes. The stun bomb is a handy tool which will freeze any non-boss demon in place over a generously sized area of effect. It fires like a grenade launcher, but in a slow arc. The area of effect can be enlarged, cooldown decreased, and the stun lengthened with upgrades. The mastery upgrade makes stuns jump to new demons if a demon is slain while stunned. This tool is useful for keeping the horde under control when a Slayer is feeling the pressure. Also, the stun bomb is necessary for attempting the highest scores possible in arcade mode. The ultimate trash sweeper and a powerful weapon combination tool can be found in the plasma rifle's heat blast modification. Initially, the blast is only charged by firing the plasma rifle. This makes it less desirable than the stun bomb. However, when upgraded, a Slayer may find the heat blast preferable to the stun bomb. A fully charged heat blast is the ultimate trash repellent. Zombies, imps, and lost souls all disintegrate as the heat blast passes over them. Crowded rooms of trash demons evaporate from exposure to repeated heat blast fire. Best of all, this attack does all of this work while it costs no ammo. Upgrades to the heat blast include a faster warm-up, decreased recovery time after a heat blast, a greater heat blast, and passive warm-ups. The plasma rifle shares ammo with the Gauss Cannon. This is probably the greatest reason to not use the plasma rifle's primary fire, as it is a pitiful use of ammo next to the might of the Gauss Cannon. This is another edge for the heat blast as well, as a stun bomb costs ammo. The next weapon is outshined only by the BFG, the Gauss Cannon. The Gauss Cannon is a powerful beam weapon which can be modified to charge up for even more power, with or without a scope. When used accurately and swiftly, this weapon is devastating in any firing mode. However, the Gauss Cannon eats 15 or more energy ammo per shot and can be emptied quickly. The Gauss Cannon's primary fire is an excellent hip-firing tool that instantly delivers a heavy amount of damage at any engagement distance, enough to give pause to Hell Knights or obliterate shield zombies through their shields. Swapping between the Gauss Cannon and the Super Shotgun is potentially the greatest amount of damage a Slayer can deal over time. The Precision Scope modification for the Gauss Cannon allows the Slayer to have increased accuracy and damage at long range. This is a welcome upgrade to the basic Gauss Cannon. A fully charged shot will blast apart a Cacodemon after 2 rounds. Upgrades for the Precision Scope include reduced time to charge and fire again, full speed movement while zoomed, and exploding demons. However, the perspective shift from zooming in can slow a Slayer down, and the damage is inferior to the Gauss Cannon's other modification, Siege Mode. A skilled Slayer does not necessarily need a scope. Siege Mode forces a Slayer to stand still or move slowly while the weapon charges an extra powerful blast. This modification makes the Gauss Cannon an extremely destructive weapon which in some firing scenarios can only be outclassed by the BFG. A charge shot from Siege Mode is the highest amount of burst damage a Doomslayer can deliver at any engagement distance, with exception of the BFG. Siege Mode instantly slays any demon in its path lesser than a Baron. Barons and Cyberman Cubi can be reduced to Viscera in 2 blasts. There is simply no match for this weapon in a long-distance engagement or a single crowded hall. A powerful weapon that crushes the toughness of all demons. Improvements to Siege Mode include a wider beam, shorter charge time, and slow movement while engaging Siege Mode as opposed to being stopped. It is also important to note that the Gauss Cannon has a significant amount of recoil which pushes the Slayer around, especially when used mid-air. This recoil can be taken advantage of to improve our mobility in all directions. For mobility in combat, the Gauss Cannon can be used to dodge attacks or maintain space by jumping before firing. This maneuver can even serve as a potent variation to the Gauss Cannon attack, wherein a Slayer both strikes hard with the Gauss Cannon and creates a huge amount of space in a single action. This maneuver can follow a super shotgun blast or itself be followed by rockets or micro-missiles. The last, but not least, of a Slayer's primary weapons is the rocket launcher, one of the most useful weapon combination tools available. The rocket launcher delivers simple-to-use, high-damage rockets to blast apart weak enemies or stagger and crush the health of more powerful opponents. The alternate firing modes for this weapon include a demon-seeking lock-on burst or a high-damage remote detonation. The rocket launcher's primary fire is powerful enough to blast apart anything weaker than a Hellraiser. Hellraisers and shield zombies stagger on direct hit. This weapon smashes through demons effectively and reliably. A Slayer must take care as using this weapon in close quarters may cause damage to the user. The remote detonator option allows each primary fire rocket to do highly increased damage and area of effect when upgraded. This transforms the rocket launcher into a peer of even the Gauss Cannon, easily dispatching Barons in short order. The large area of effect and remote detonation on alternate fire allow a skilled Slayer to deal damage around corners or burst the rocket at the perfect moment for maximum destruction. With mastery, the remote det no longer destroys the rocket, allowing each rocket to become its own combination attack. This makes the rocket launcher capable of covering wide fields with damage, disintegrating weak demons. More significantly, a Slayer can airburst the rocket immediately before a direct hit to deliver a truly oppressive combination for even their most formidable foes. Remote detonation's other improvements include increased area of effect, and shrapnel, which causes bleeding damage. The lock-on burst enables an alternate fire which, after a short period of time for target acquisition, dispenses 3 demon-seeking missiles which are extremely agile and reliable. This firing mode allows a Slayer to fire and forget with confidence even at long distance. Like the shotgun triple, a primary fire can be performed before and after the triple rocket in order to release 5 rockets in very rapid succession. When used in concert with the rest of the arsenal, these guided missiles enable a Slayer to be extremely dangerous at any distance. Following these missiles up with a super shotgun blast or shotgun grenade is a great way to distribute damage quickly. Equipment, besides our primary weapons, is also nearly always available to a Slayer. These tools cool down passively and draw from the same resource pool. The Fragmentation Grenade delivers a heavy amount of damage to those nearby. It is an excellent tool for dispatching shield-wielding zombies or for setting up before a combination to deal even more quick damage to a durable opponent. The grenade provides extra flexibility to cunning Doomslayers at all times. The Siphon Grenade instantly radiates an area of effect which deals weak damage and restores the health of the user. Useful for big clutch heals when applied to multiple targets or extended boss fights. Bosses can be specifically difficult to damage with the Fragmentation Grenade's delay, making the Siphon Grenade desirable in comparison. The Hologram temporarily distracts the Horde as they see it. This tool, while doing no damage, is very effective. Juking the aggression of incoming demons is made simple as the fake Slayer pulls projectiles and charge attacks of all sorts. The Slayer also has access to 2 powerful weapons which are not present on the weapon wheel, the Chainsaw and BFG. The Chainsaw is why a Slayer almost never runs out of ammo, and is an excellent tool for immediately destroying an opponent who must be dealt with quickly and without delay. The Chainsaw shines when staring down a charging Pinky Demon, or when killing a demon who is trying to melee the Slayer as they exit a glory kill animation. Also, when a Slayer has limited kit, the Chainsaw is a great way to deal with shield zombies. Using the Chainsaw sparingly, when a Slayer is low on ammo, will ensure a Slayer near always has the ammo they need. For ammo collection, it is most effective to use the Chainsaw on small enemies which only require a single unit of fuel. Though, often it is worth it to avoid high damage Pinky Demon charges and Kaku Demon bites with quick use of the Chainsaw. Summoners are also a great candidate for investing 3 units of fuel. However, Mancubi and Barons are simply too expensive for fuel and should be dealt with otherwise if possible. Finally, the BFG, a Doomslayer's ultimate expression of destruction. Best used in a large room densely packed with demons, combined with haste or quad damage for even more destruction. This weapon is a great way to stop a moment of panic. It is capable of dispatching entire encounters at a time to relieve a Doomslayer of their demonic burden. Generally, a Slayer should fire this weapon for maximum area effect, as often a direct hit is not necessary to slay any demon. This has been episode 1 of my series on slaying demons like the Doomslayer. Check back in a couple weeks for episode 2. If you'd like to read my full-text guide on how to master the art of doomslaying, a link is in the description. I'd like to thank the Twitch streamers and Doomslayers Bite Me and Red Warrior for their revisions and intellectual contributions to my text guide, which informed much of this episode's content. You can catch all 3 of us on Twitch as well. Come back next time, and I'll teach you how to swap it like it's hot.